I'm starting. So this is the problem. We have A, B, C. Now, just like so, the contrast between flexibility method and stiffness method is that in flexibility method, in the step 1, we found out the DS, degree of static indeterminacy. Here we will find out degree of kinematic indeterminacy. Solution step 1. So we need to talk about step 1. So always learn structure analysis stepwise. I told you. Step 1 is calculate the degree of kinematic indeterminacy, dk. Okay. So step 1 is calculate the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. We all know dk is basically the independent joint rotation. Independent joint rotation or degrees of freedom. Or degrees of freedom at any support. Okay. So dk will be 1 which is at support B. At roller support B, if you see here, at roller support we can have one rotation. So at roller support it can undergo some rotation because roller supports, it is the roller supports are restrained from, or they have the degrees of freedom. How many unknowns are there? First of all, unknown is 1, that is the vertical reaction is the unknown. Okay, that means it can move lateral wise and it can also undergo joint rotation like this. So we can have degrees of freedom 1 at this point at roller support B and another at C, because another 1 plus 1 at roller support C. See, the finding out degree of decay is very important. At C we have roller support and at B we have roller support. So I can have another rotation at point C. Why not A? A is a fixed state. So at fixed end, all sorts of movement are restrained. At this fixed end, all sorts of movement are restrained. That is why we have 3 unknown. Vertical reaction, we have vertical reaction, which is unknown. We have axial force unknown, and also the rotation unknown. But at the roller support, we can have rotation. So one unknown here, sorry, one degree of freedom here, and another degrees of freedom. Why? Because it is a roller support. Please make sure those who don't have the basic fundamental concept, please go to any Hibbeler book, RC Hibbeler structure analysis book. In that book, you have you can also get the e-copy also, e-book copy also. In the Hibbeler RC Hibbeler book, there's a 2 to 3 pages in the initial chapter where for various supports how many unknowns are there and what are the degrees of freedom are present, with those are given in that book. Very nicely those are given. Because why I'm recommending RC Hibbeler book, because the lots of structure analysis book, but they do not talk definitely on degrees of freedom. Okay, in that book degrees of freedom is very properly given. Okay, if you have any doubt you can refer. So therefore degrees of freedom, that is dk, is 2. So now step 2 will be the same. Locate the coordinate direction, locate the coordinate position on the beam. Locate the coordinate position on the beam. So I am providing location 1 at B and location 2 at C. So therefore put, so you will write this like this. Okay, if you don't write in the examination, I will cut mark. So put coordinate 1 at support B, and coordinate 2 at C. Because at B and C, rotation can take place. That is why I have taken the coordinate 1 and 2 at B and C. Mind it, in flexibility method, we took the coordinate 1, 2 here at A and B, at A1 and at B2. But here, due to our necessary or due to our criteria of the problem, here what is the criteria of the problem? That support which has degrees of freedom, at that support we can put the coordinate point. So coordinate point 1 at B and 2 at C, and not at A, because A is fixed. A is fixed end, okay, like this. So step 2 is done. Then go to step 3. In step 3, just like in step 3 in flexibility method, we had drawn the primary structure. Primary structure means those structures where I am removing the support. In flexibility method, what we did, we removed the support and we kept the external loading. We removed the supports here and here, and those are the primary structure. But here there is no concept of primary structure. Here is a concept of restraint structure. So write down construct or develop restraint structure. Construct or develop restraint structure done by providing fixicity, by providing fixed tense at all the support, by providing fixed tense. Fixed tense at all support. So in the steps only I am explaining what we are going to do. So construct or develop the restraint structure by providing fixed tense. Just at the support, wherever we will get support, we will fix it. At A and B we will fix, and at B and C we will fix. Also we will find out fixed end moment. We have learned how to find out fixed end moments. So also find out FEM, fixed end moments at support. Whatever your madam, so my dear students, whatever your madam have shown the representation or the symbol for fixed end moments, you can apply. But I write fixed end moments as FEM, so that it is very understanding for me and for the student also. While doing the examination, if you write FEM, then the teacher or the faculty will understand that this is fixed end moment. Okay. So also find out. So we will provide the fixed ends forcefully, and we will find out the fixed end moments at all the supports. So we will first. So we will take support AB. Step by step I am discussing. Okay, there is no hurry. So, and the AB beam, we will provide fixed end. Just we are providing fixity or fixed end. Okay, nothing more than that. So I'm providing the fixed end. Let me mark it A dash B dash, and it is subject to UDL. 60 kilonewton per meter. So obviously we know how to find out fixed end moment. So fixed end moment AB as A dash B dash. The left side minus W square by 12. Minus W square by 12. On the right side, we have plus W square by 12. I hope everyone knows the fixed moment. Yes or no? Write in the chat box if everyone knows the fixed moment. Very easy. One of the fundamental things in slope deflection and moment distribution. Okay, thank you, Shomuji. Thank you, Siddhartha. So you know a fixed moment, no problem. Very easy thing. We have a chart for fixed moments. Okay. So if under UDL, fixed moment left side will be minus W square by 12. So write down minus 60 into 4 square by 12. So minus W square, it is coming minus 80. Minus 80 kilometer and fixed moment. So at A dash B dash we have got, then B dash A dash. Same but just opposite. Plus 80 kilonewton meter. Plus 80 kilonewton per meter. This thing. Again for BC. So I am making the beam B dash C dash. Very easy. I have a point load 100. So I have point load 100. So left and right. So it is midpoint. Very important. It is midpoint. Okay. So L by 2, L by 2. So the left side will be minus WL by 8 and plus WL by 8. So therefore, fixed end moment B dash C dash will be minus WL by 8. How much it is coming? WL by 8 is coming about minus 37.5. Please don't forget to write the units. FEM B dash C dash and FEM C dash B dash will be just the opposite, plus 37.5. Since it is at midpoint, so the fixed moment is WL by 8. So take down. So fixed moments at this end, left side, right side, this end, left side, right side. So we will use all these values. Mrityunjoy has been disconnected. Let him join. I am joining everyone. Okay. Anyone who is getting disconnected, I am joining them. Okay. Let the student join. I am allowing everyone. Okay. Any student who is getting disconnected, you try to join. I am allowing you from my laptop. So copy this thing. It is very easy compared to flexibility method. It is very easy. Slowly take this down. No hurry. All this drawing and everything should be there. Mrityunjoy who has got disconnected, you can join. Okay. I'm allowing all my students. Some of my students are getting disconnected due to net problem. I am joining them. There is no rule that I am not joining. Whoever getting disconnected, I am joining them. You try to join. Even those who are getting some net issues, those in those areas, in remote areas where net problem is really a big concern, I'm uploading the lectures in my YouTube channel. Okay, please go and visit those. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So please take this down. Right. One of you have written that done, sir. 2 to 3 students, other students, please write down if you have completed copying. Then I will go to step 4. Thank you, Shomuji. So this is practically the last official class on structure analysis 2. We have almost completed the whole semester in the online class. I hope you like the classes. Any sort of doubt if you have during the online this lockdown period, you can call me up. If you have a very big problem, I will solve one question. I will send it to you. Okay, just like I have done for the earlier also. So step 4. Before step 4, there is another thing left in step. So before going to step 4, there is another thing which is left in step 3, that is putting the values of external forces. Putting the values of external forces acting at coordinate 1 and 2. External forces acting at not external forces, putting the values of forces developed. Forces developed. Putting the values of forces developed acting at coordinates 1 and 2. Coordinates 1 and 2. Okay. So now we'll put the values. So just like in flexibility method, there was delta L1, delta L2. If you remember in flexibility method, there were delta L1 and delta L2. These were the displacements occurring due to external loading. Here also just the opposite. We will calculate the forces developed due to this displacement. So there will be a matrix. There will be a matrix, PL matrix. We have two coordinates, so we will have PL1 and PL2. So this PL is basically the matrix of forces due to external loading. The forces which is coming due to the forces which is coming due to the displacement. So how we will calculate? So PL1, which is basically the force developed at coordinate 1, force developed at 1. How we will calculate? So 1 means at point B, that is B dash. So we will add the fixed end moments of this point. So FEM B dash C dash plus FEM B dash C dash. Because B dash is the point, if you remember, if you check the figure, B dash is the point which is sharing A dash B dash and B dash C dash. So that is why the total force acting at this point B will be the fixed end moment. The total force acting at point B will be the fixed end moment. Everyone make sure whenever we are using stiffness matrix method to calculate the forces, we will add all the fixed end moments at that support. Add all the fixed end moments at the support. If the support is joining two beams, we will add two fixed end moments. If the support or joint is joining three members, then we will have three fixed end moments. Okay, so fixed end moment at B dash K dash and B dash C. The fixed end moment was how much? Plus 80 minus 37.5. So it is coming 42.5. So forces at B dash, that is at coordinate 1. At coordinate 1, the sum of all the fixed end moments. Similarly, PL2, the force developed at coordinate 2. Force developed at coordinate 2. That means at C. Only at C we have fixed end moment. FEM CB dash, C dash B dash. That is, we are getting plus 37.5 kilonewton meter. So this matrix we will use. Please remember, this matrix we will use at the end. At the end of the stiffness matrix equation, we will use this matrix. Mind it. If this down, then we will go for step 4. If you have copied, you can write in the chat box. That's done. Next, so these are the external forces which are, so PL1 and PL2. PL1 and PL2, these are the external forces which has been developed due to what if the, so what is the reason, so what is the reason for this development of forces? The reason is that I'm forcefully fixing the support, and due to forcefully fixing the support, my fixed end moments are developed. So that is the reason. And we all know that in matrix method, force or bending moment. Fixed end moment is what? It is a bending moment. It is a moment, not bending moment. It is a type of moment. So moment can also be categorized as force in matrix method. So see here, we are adding the moments here. Coming to step 4. So can I rub this portion? 2 to 3 students, please tell in the chat box that so that I can rub this portion. Okay, thank you, Wasim. Acha. So I'm now we'll go for step 4. Now we'll go for step. What is will be the step 4? Step 4 will be just to develop the stiffness matrix coefficient. Just to develop the stiffness coefficient. Develop the stiffness coefficient. Stiffness coefficient. Okay. That means the stiffness matrix. Step 4 is to develop the, just like in step 4 in flexibility method, we develop the flexibility coefficients. Here we will develop the stiffness coefficient. How? Using slope deflection method. Please write down. Using, you can use moment distribution method also, no problem. Okay. Slope deflection method. Slope deflection method. Using slope deflection method, we will develop the stiffness coefficient. Okay. Using slope deflection method, since it is not visible, so let me write in black. Using slope deflection method. So using slope deflection method, we will determine the stiffness coefficient. So first, case 1. Case wise, we will find out the elements. I told you in flexibility. I told you in flexibility method also. Case wise, I find out case 1, case 2, case 3. In stiffness method also, to find out the stiffness matrix element, what will I do? I will case wise put unit displacement at the location. So case 1, put unit displacement, or we can write or rotation or slope. So put unit displacement or rotation or slope. That means we can write delta equals to 1, or you can write theta equals to 1 at coordinate 1. Okay. So at coordinate 1, we will put unit rotation. At coordinate 1, we will put the unit rotation. See. First, I will draw the diagram. This is point A, B, and C. Okay. So B is coordinate 1, C is coordinate 2. So we have we will since so at this point, sorry, just let me draw the diagram first, then you will draw. Mind it, the beams will be fixed ends only. All the supports will be fixed. Okay. So at this end, I will put a unit rotation. Displacement means, I told you, displacement can be vertical deflection or displacement can be rotation. So here slope theta I am taking as 1. So here I will have theta b. Here I will have theta b. So I am putting unit rotation at this point. Okay. Please listen. I am putting the unit rotation at this point B. Okay. At this point B, while the slope at A is 0 and slope at C is 0. Slope at A is 0 and slope at B is 0. So I have for the putting, so I am fixing this beam, I have removed the external loading and I am putting unit displacement. So therefore, due to unit displacement or due to theta B is 1 at coordinate 1, so what will be my coefficients K11 and K21. So K11, I told you, just like in flexibility method, here we will find out the stiffness matrix elements. Okay, stiffness matrix element K11. So K11 is what? Talk with me. K11 is what? The force required. The force required at position 1 due to unit displacement at 1. This K11, that is the force required. How much I am putting here? Unit rotation as to what? Position 1. And with respect to this, what is my force required? So K11, we will apply slope deflection. We apply slope deflection. 3I by L. 2 theta B the near end. 2 theta B plus theta A the far end minus delta. Now delta is not given displacement. So K11, if you use the slope deflection method, 2EI by L, 2 theta B is the near end plus theta A minus delta. This is the basic equation. So this is a basic equation. All of you, those who have learned slope deflection, you can understand this thing. So here at this part, A is 0 here also. A is 0. That is theta A is 0 because there is no slope. Only the slope is available at theta B. That means so K11, this is for AB. Second for BC, because the position 1 means the position B, which is sharing both the beams. 2EI by L, 2 times the nearer end plus 1 times the far end minus theta. So here also theta C is 0, delta is 0. Now put the values L1, L2 because the lengths are different. So K11 will be 2EI by 4 multiplied with 2 times theta B plus 2EI by 3 into twice theta B. So just add all these things and find out. So it is 4EI by, that is, it is EI theta B plus 4 by 3 theta B. So it is coming 7 by 3 EI theta B. Mind, K11 is coming 7 by 3 EI theta B. Now while here theta B is 1, okay, unit displacement theta B is 1. So therefore we can write 7 by 3 here. If you see here, my theta is 1, so theta B is 1 here. Take this down, K11. MAB plus, Wasim is asking me, sir, MAB plus rest. Wasim, just check the slope deflection equation. Just slope deflection equation ta amra ebhabe use kori, okay? 2 times the near end plus 1 times the far end minus the delta. If you take any just any equation, deflection equation. So the formula is 3 delta L by 3 delta L by L. So here delta, here the delta is the external deflection. No deflection is given. So these are all zero. Okay, mind you. Now K21 is displacement, or the force required at 2 due to unit displacement at 1. This is K21. 2 EI by L. 2 is at the point C. So C is only located in the beam BC. 2 EI by L, 2 theta C plus theta B minus 3 delta by L. The basic equation. Here theta C is 0, delta L is 0. So just put K21 is 2 EI by 3. K21 is 2 EI by 3. You can box these elements also, okay? Because you will require these values. So you can box this element. Wasim, any doubt now? Basic equation of slope deflection. Okay. The basic equation is 2 EI by L, 2 times the slope of the near end plus 1 times the slope of the other end minus 3 delta by L. So this is the case for case 1. Please write down this one. And you will also draw like this. And mind it, all the supports are fixed support. Okay, we are fixing it. Then I will go to case 2. Case 1 is at this point I am providing a unit rotation. Then case 2 I will provide unit rotation or unit twist at point C. So this is only the case. I'm providing unit rotation. The symbol can be opposite also, no problem. Many of you students, you can feel that if you want to keep the symbol left, that is anti-clockwise, no problem. Check this down, then I will go to case 2.